Exclusive. Bola Tnubu pay US lobbyist $2.7 million to help burnish image destroyed by drug dealing, certificate forgery scandal. Welcome to tonight's news, guys. I'm sure definitely this is not going to be a surprise. Not a surprise to me, of course. It's not going to be a surprise to some of you. Okay, now since after the election, I'm going to read the news in detail. But before I read the news, please permit me to explain a few things. Now, since after these guys stole the mandate, right? They didn't know that the world was paying keen interest in Nigeria election, that 2023 election. Haven't you seen Tnubu whenever he attend any world, any world event, right? Where other of his peers, other presidents of other country, they are there. Guess what? He's always isolated. Please, if you know you are observing from pictures or from video, could you please comment it at the comment section? He's always isolated. Election fraud, certificates forgery, drug dealing. Let me take you straight to the news. Please, before we watch this news, I beg. This is an amazing news. Let me give it a thumbs up so that Facebook and YouTube can recommend it. Please share it before you watch it. Thank you. According to People's Gazette, Bola Tnubu pays US lobbyist $2.7 million to help punish image destroyed by drug. President Bola Tnubu has hired lobbyists in the United States to help convince lawmakers and policy makers that he carries acceptable personal probity to lead Nigeria. People's Gazette can report after suffering a reputational hit that followed reports of his involvement in illicit drug peddling and certificate fraud. Mr. Tnubu engaged public relations experts, including David Spalding of Lenape Legal, based in a sleepy Philadelphia suburb, to help his administration navigate Washington's concerns about his unsavory public profile. The Gazette learned via documents and sources familiar. The Nigerian leader deemed the hiring necessary after evaluating the impact widespread coverage of his narcotics and certificate saga had on his prestige before his foreign counterpart. A senior administration official said under anonymity to discuss the president's key vulnerability. Mr. Spalding's firm indicated it started work in April 2024, a few months after Nigerians' interest in the scandal peaked and the Supreme Court said it was insufficient to truncate Mr. Tnubu's nascent tenure. The president feels that the bad stories are impeding his ability to govern. The official at the Justice Ministry said, "Look, some of us know they look down on him like a pariah, which is unfair. You can see the president taking pictures with world leaders, but no one answers his calls to discuss social and economic issues affecting Nigeria, which is what he actually needs." The official added, Mr. Tnubu has attended summits of global leaders in France, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia, among others, but those invitations were largely statutory for Nigeria as Africa's most populous and largest economy. What Mr. Tnubu really wanted, the aide said, was to be given special foreign policy concession, similar to how Nigeria scored big under former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan. His attempt to flex international muscle months after assuming office ended in humiliation. You guys remember now when he was giving the Nigeria Republic order, the military junta, right, that they must end it within 7 days or else, and nothing happened. Okay, his attempt to flex international muscle months after assuming office ended in humiliation after the Emirates repudiated key prongs of an agreement he purportedly locked in following a meeting in Abu Dhabi in September 2023. The Nigerian economy has trended rapidly downward since Mr. Tnubu's inauguration in May 2023, and critics say he overfilled his cabinet with corrupt and incompetent politicians with limited contact outside Nigeria. Atiku Bagudu, famous for helping former dictator Sani Abacha launder billions in stolen public funds in the 1990s, and Nyesom Wike, a lifelong alcoholic who did not flinch from the label, are running and debasing key ministry, departments, and agencies. Another shady minister, Uche Unaji, has remained in Tinubu's cabinet more than 6 months after the Gazette exposed how he forged the National Youth Service Certificate he submitted to the Nigerian Senate to scale confirmation. But administration officials readily dismissed opposition attack that the president was hemorrhaging credibility, relying on not just his foreign trips but also the quality of foreign leaders he has entertained at the State House, including German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Justice Ministry officials said the president follows advice to reconstruct his image with members of the U.S. House of Representatives, senators, and White House officials. The official added that the contract, some of which were signed for the government of Nigeria to obscure Mr. Tnubu's personal stake, will satisfy the cause. The Gazette was told that Mr. Tnubu was still furious over the role of the Nigerian media and opposition leader Atiku Abubakar in fragmenting the charges and spreading them across Nigeria and beyond. The allegations, while substantially factual, were by themselves not entirely new, but their discussion had been largely restricted to online chats, both an idiocentric spotlight on social media platform for several years, until Mr. Abubakar sought to use them to blunt Mr. Tinubu's appeal ahead of the 2023 elections. After Mr. Tnubu was declared winner, Mr. Abubakar's legal team prioritized factual elements of the claims while litigating the vote outcome before the election, petition tribunal, and ultimately the Supreme Court. Mr. Tnubu's involvement in the cocaine business, which he still denies despite U.S. law enforcement account, had suffused Nigeria political circles and commentary since he first forfeited about $500,000 to the U.S. government in 1993. However, the general public understanding of the case did not come until November 2022, where the Gazette was the first to publish the entire case file PDF as certified and released by the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago. Days after the Gazette ran the Chicago court document, journalist David Udeyi premiered the documentary about Mr. Tinubu's excessive network in narcotics trafficking, significantly raising the stakes over the prospect of his presidency. The Justice Ministry officials said Mr. Udeyi's video was among the material the lobbyists planned to push back against when relating with U.S. representative. Mr. Abubakar campaign played a role in spreading the document, and the supporters joined forces with compatriots in Peter Obi's Labour Party to demoralize the Tnubu camp for several weeks, leading to the February 25th, 2023 poll. Mr. Tnubu was declared winner of the exercise with barely 36%, the lowest as a share of total vote since the 1979 election. that threatened the nation's fabric. While the certificate scandal did not mature until after the election, it was perhaps the most challenging for the president to dismiss. For weeks, he mounted a fervent effort to obstruct disclosure of his record from Chicago State University. The school's administrators also appeared sympathetic to Mr. Tnubu's dubious tactics until a federal judge ordered a disposition of the school's register, which showed that both the school and Mr. Tnubu had a lot to hide. They had a lot to hide. Several inconsistencies in the school's record compared to decades of public knowledge about Mr. Tnubu showed that the Nigerian president had tendered a falsified academic document to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Nonetheless, Justice on the Supreme Court of Nigeria affirmed his victory, ignoring constitutional language that said no candidate who presented a false document to INEC will be eligible to stand in an election. Whereas the CSU, Chicago State University, moved on after the reputation among Nigerians as diploma me by simply locking his Twitter page. Mr. Tnubu was unable to assert the same convenience. The Nigerian leader staggered from one scandal to another, as some countries activated measures that all but suggested a collective punishment of Nigerians for their dear sake. Still, it's quite long, guys. It's quite long. Let me stop here. However, I like the embarrassment this thing is giving him, the narcotic issue, the certificate forgery. All right. But you see, I'm not surprised. I'm sure most of you remember that video during election. We had Tnubu, it was one campaign they went to. Tnubu sat in front, Osama bin Laden, the vice president, Shetima, sat behind him, right? Please remember this video. Can you remind me? Tnubu was bent his hand to give him bribe, to give Osama bin Laden bribe. They were due to somebody. You remember? Will you be surprised? Same person went to pay for fake bishops. And you guys saw Tnubu, we said it before, that this guy is a dangerous man. The guy is the definition of danger. That's what Tnubu is. What a shame. What a shame. It's somebody whose image is bastardized, useless image, bastardized image. Only you are a drug dealer. Only you are certificate forgery. Allah, you didn't know, you didn't think of it, that the world was away, they were taking note of it. When they attend world leaders meeting, everybody is isolated, everybody is disconnected from him. And now he has paid lobbyists to see how they can boost his product. No matter what you want to do till tomorrow, the world already know who Tnubu is. And I hope they know that the world is on social media. President, governor, everybody there on social media, they are seeing all these things. This must be exposed now. They will watch some of them will watch this video. I remember during election, there were there was a time there was one American, military personnel that was following my videos. You understand? So some of them follow us on social media. So this guy, the question I just asked myself when I saw this video, I said, how long will this guy continue to fool himself? Do you really think that he can fool the world? Let this not be do whatever I can do. That will never change our perception about it. What will make Tnubu to cry during the case after election, you understand, the certificate forgery case in court in US. What will make him, when we were saying that if they release it, it will cause him so much damage. And yes, we are boasting to Nigeria that you graduated with good grade. Even the real Omoki, he said graduated with good grade. Yet he was not bold enough for it to be released to the public. Guys, please, what's your take on this? Let me drop your opinion in the comment section and please share. Thanks and God bless you.